Hey everyone, welcome to the Thursday edition of I Hate It Here. My name is Erika.
I'm Marissa.
And thank you for hopping on the Hot Mess Express today.
All aboard. Welcome to the Hot Mess Express. Choo choo.
All right, guys, it is motherfucking Friday tomorrow. And I am so stoked that it's Friday and that May is over. May has been a shit month.
Mm-hmm.
Like a shit month.
Yep.
And I'm ready to see it go. And this week, I don't know. I'm just tired of this week. I want it to be over too.
You and I both. I feel like
let's just start fresh.
This month, this year has come out swinging since the beginning, and
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
No,
I was not ready for the level of pettiness that this year and the amount of shit that was just flying everywhere.
right. And I was like, okay, 2023 was not so great, right?
But
For me.
2024 will be better.
I mean, it hasn't been as bad,
Mm-hmm.
but it's been pretty close.
So it's had its moments.
It's definitely it's.
But see, that's what I get for talking shit. Feeling like, oh, look at Cat Williams throwing everybody under the bus and talking shit. And look at me now, crying. Because now it's my turn.
So yeah, it's just been a fucking year so far, and I'm just ready for Friday. I'm ready for May to be over, and let's start the summer on a
Strong,
good note.
yeah.
Let's let it be the summer of Erika.
Yes.
Oh my gosh! So that being said, guys, speaking of talking trash, I just remembered because you said you were talking about Cat Williams. So I mentioned it on the show this past Tuesday, I should say, that over the weekend, this last weekend, I was in Dallas visiting family and Grandma Glo. For those of you who don't know, Grandma Glo
is my spirit animal. I love her. She can do no wrong.
Grandma Glo is my grandmother from my dad's side of the family, my dad's mom. She is 94 and she is a fucking fireball.
She's fucking fabulous.
Guys, she's fucking over life. She's over dealing with all our shit.
Again, my spirit animal.
And she's still a cool dresser for her fucking age. Like she's always she's her drip don't quit.
Fuck no.
Which is
She's got swag.
She does have swag.
She does have that natural swag to her.
At 94. So she's, like I said, a total spitfire. But so you never know what's going to happen with Grandma Glo, right? Or what's going to come out of her mouth. Because like I said, she doesn't give a fuck. She's got, so we're trying to calculate. So I think we said, well, she's got 7 children, right? 7 kids. From the 7 kids, I think we calculated 22, I want to say 22 grandchildren.
Jesus.
24 great-grandchildren.
My God.
And 4 great-great-grandchildren.
Yeah, no, I'd be like, fuck all y'all.
So, so that there's a shit ton of us, guys, up in that family. And she's just tired of all our shit. We went, we all went down there because it was also my cousin's graduation. And so it was kind of like a good way to go visit grandma. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
so like my dad and stepmom flew out over there and we met them there. Like, it was a nice weekend. But anyhow, Grandma Glo always talks shit, guys. Not just to us as her loved ones and her family, but about everybody.
Everybody can get it.
You don't know who's going to get it. Like, you think you're on top of the world with her and then she'll just cut you.
She'll just drag you to filth and bring it back down. Which I absolutely, she does it with such a nice, because she's so adorable that when you hear it, you're like, I can't even be mad at you.
Oh, no, I can be mad. Grandma's mean, man. Fuck that. She's a savage sometimes. So on Friday, we were at my aunt's house, just sitting around the kitchen table, catching up, and then she's asking about my mom's side of the family, right? Like, how's this person? How's that person?
Yeah.
And she was inquiring about one of my cousins who lives in LA. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's doing so good. Like, he's like a executive for Nike. He, he's got this, his wife is like absolutely beautiful. And then my sister tells her she's actually an anchor for Telemundo.
Oh, wow.
And my grandma was like, what? And we're like, yeah, she does a lot of like the pop culture and, you know, like stuff like that. So yeah, she works for Telemundo. And she's like, I don't believe it. Show me the picture. I want to see who she is. So
they come with the receipt.
Yep. Grandma Glo did not believe it. She's like, fuck this bitch. Let me check her out, right?
Let me check her out. Let me see if she's Telemundo quality.
If I know her.
Yeah.
So I bust out the phone, go to Instagram, and like show pictures, right? I'm like, this is her. And she's like, I don't know her. She must work in the back office.
Oh! She says she's she's not in front of the camera.
She must work in the back office. Fucking savage, right? So I'm like, Grandma, like maybe she does. I think she just does Telemundo locally. Like I don't think she's a national anchor because they have national anchors and show. You know what I mean? Like what you're seeing in Telemundo is not. How can you explain it? It's more like it's not. Like you get stuff shown from within your city or your state.
It's very
but it's
like
not
localized. It's very localized. So you do get news from like the big news from across the state or things like that. But it's very
but
local.
not all of it is national. Right?
No, it's very local. So you have like if you have someone here in Houston, you're gonna get content from Houston. You're gonna get some national stuff thrown in there. But for the most part, it's going to be just very local news, and it's going to be broadcasted locally. So it's not like somebody in Dallas is going to pick it up, or geographically.
Or even if they do, it's like within. Then it's going to go to the state, and then from the state, then it
goes.
If it's
very
like,
local news.
Yeah. So anyhow, I just couldn't stop laughing at that. I'm like, she is such a bitch. Nah. She's like, now I know where I get it from. She's like, I handed her the phone, and she's like. She must work in the back office.
Oh!
I was like, without like...
hesitation.
No. She's like, because I don't know her. And I'm like, dang, Glo, I didn't know you knew everybody up in that bitch. Like, put the claws back, kitty.
She's like, if I don't know her, it does not happen. She Mariah carried her. She's like, I don't know her.
Yeah, she totally did. So anyhow, it was nice. It was a nice weekend. It was...
Nice.
And hopefully this weekend I do nothing, guys. That is what I'm planning to do because last weekend, well, the weekend before that, we were just trying to survive up in this bitch without power. Then last weekend I was with my family, trying not to step on any exploding bombs. So, which is bombs that Grandma throws at you, right? I did not want her. I think at one point she said something to me, and I can't remember what it was. She just kind of blew it off. I blew it off, I should say. I was just like, oh, whatever. But. So I wasn't unscathed, but I didn't get any major stab wounds from Grandma Glo. So it was super busy last weekend. So this weekend, I'm doing nothing.
Nice.
Nothing. Big plans are doing ammo to emo, and that's it.
That's it for the weekend.
That's it. Those are my only plans this fucking weekend.
Love that for you. Love that for you.
So, Marissa, is there anything exciting going on in your world, or do you want to just...
No, I mean, honestly, it's end of year stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Kids, right? So a lot of like events and things and, my son, so for everyone that knows my oldest, he does ROTC in his school. So they have a leadership program coming up. So he's prepping to go. And this is the longest that he'll be away from home and me not be.
Wait, how long is he going to be gone?
7 days.
Oh, okay.
He's going to be gone for 7 days. And this is the longest that this is like his first trip by himself. So a couple summers ago, he went to Boston as part of a thing at school. But, we met him there.
Yep.
So he was only out for like 2 days. But I was in the same city like the next day after he left. So
if anything happened, you were...
Yeah, I was available. This is the first time that he's actually going to go on his own. He's going to be out there by himself and be...
Is he excited about it or is he nervous?
He is a little nervous about it because, he's so used to mom takes care of everything. Like, I don't have to worry about anything. He's going to have to be, on his kind of high alert. And he's on his own for the first time. So he's kind of nervous. He's super excited, though, because, he's excited to have that experience. I'm excited for him. But, yes, am I dying a little inside? Yes, absolutely. Do I let him see that though? Absolutely not.
No, you can't.
No, because then I don't want to bring him down. You know
Uh-huh.
what I mean? I don't want to take away the excitement. Him thinking, oh man, mom's bummed out or something. So.
And then you also can be like, bye. Where
Yeah,
they get their
because
feelings
be like,
hurt.
this bitch. Yeah, so it's that growing pain. My little one's wrapping up elementary, so a lot of mixed emotions, guys.
He's going to start junior high next year.
He's going to start junior high next year, so a lot of mixed emotions. I don't have tiny little babies anymore. I have a preteen and a teenager, and I'm trying to learn how to deal with that. Right now. So this weekend is going to be a lot of dealing with my emotions so that I can be okay. Yeah.
Oh, well,
I know.
They're growing up, gonna go on their own adventures.
I know. Maybe somebody else can put their foot bill because my God, Jesus, they eat like there's no tomorrow.
All right, guys. So let's jump into a song because we've got some good stories to go over today. And so that being said, let's jump into the
Also, by the way, for everybody out there listening, we're trying a new mic setup. So if there is some echo or something weird happening, please let us know in the chat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because we're trying a new mic setup. Hopefully it's better for you guys. But again, let us know if you guys hear something weird.
Okay.
You know I wonder all the time if you would see me on the east. You know you like to tell me lies.
Whoa, that was a short one.
That was a short one. I didn't realize that. Would have been paying better attention had I known. All right, guys. So let's get into the story of the day. And we're going to start with the work story. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
So starts with, I had a strange experience yesterday, and I think I need some perspective. I'm a C-level department head. Recently, I volunteered to go temporarily to another location, very far from my home, that experienced a sudden and unforeseen leadership vacancy. Since I have no intention of staying here, I told senior executive leadership on the first day that one of my priorities during my time here would be to find them a permanent fill.
Okay,
so mission number 1 is getting somebody up in that bitch to run.
Take over. Yeah.
A few weeks and several virtual interviews later, we have a solid candidate who was invited for an on-site visit. This candidate's current job is in the same region, but by no means close to the one for which they are interviewing. So I guess it's in the same region, but that city that he's interviewing for works better for the candidate, I think is what he's trying to say.
I see. Okay, yeah, I was like, wait.
Because it's within the region.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably within the same city or...
Got it. So it's like just a large city and they have maybe...
Or maybe, like, she's a manager for... I don't know. Who knows? For a different part of the state. Who fucking knows, right?
Got it.
But it's going to be closer for that candidate.
Okay.
Anyhow, I was a primary guide through her day here, beginning with picking... Oh, no, I'm lying. I guess she is in that region, but not in that city. I got it backwards.
Okay.
My bad, guys.
Wait. Okay, so she's in the region, but not in the city.
Yes.
So it's not unfeasible, but it's also not super close.
Yes. Okay, there we go. I got that fucked up. Sorry, guys. I was a primary guide through her day here, beginning with picking her up at the hotel that morning. At the appointed time, I was in the lobby, and the candidate comes down along with her spouse. This is not a surprise, since they were obliged to drive a long but not unreasonable distance to get here. And after all, if you're going to move, it's natural for them to decide together whether the location itself is a fit. Okay? So this person might, if she gets that job, might have to move down there.
Right. Because commuting back and forth is just not an option.
Yeah. Okay. As the candidate and I are exchanging initial pleasantries, I become aware that the husband is photographing me. It is instantly apparent that this is not simply a little harmless shutterbuggery, but rather he is essentially taking mugshots of me from different angles.
Excuse me?
Sir, if I knew we were going to have a photo session.
Shoot.
Yeah.
First of all, pay me.
And have.
Second of all, get my right angle.
Right? His brusque demeanor contributes to my impression that he believes or suspects that I intend the candidate harm. So he, like, the person writing in gets uncomfortable. Like, why the fuck are you, like, what do you think I'm going to do to your wife? Like, you think I'm going to go kill her?
Oh, so it's like these are going to be the fucking pictures that I showed to the cops type of pictures.
Yes.
Okay,
This
that's
is
the
who
vibe.
she was with.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I did not react and pretended to ignore it. It was clear the candidate was slightly embarrassed, though not mortified, and laughed, saying something to the effect of, "Spouse is so protective of me." Okay, so spouse then insisted on knowing where we would be going and whether we would be walking or driving. I showed them both the day's itinerary and that we'd be going to multiple locations, and so would be doing and so we would be doing a little of both.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this was all really bizarre, not to mention an unsolicited invasion of my privacy. Mm-hmm. For reference, I am male in my mid-40s, and they appear to be slightly older. I'll also add that I was in a business suit with my credentials and a photo on a lanyard around my neck. Not that this would preclude criminal behavior, but I think it does communicate a certain level of professional demeanor and above a board transparency that I feel ought to have been obvious. Okay, so he's like...
Yeah, he has credentials. He doesn't... It's not like he's walking around in jeans, t-shirts, and sneakers and being like, all right, let's go.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Come on, lady, I'm just gonna... You're gonna hop into my ride and I'm just gonna take you to all these places.
Yeah. You can tell that this is a professional exchange.
Yeah.
Okay.
I personally feel that anyone exercising this level of control over their spouse's professional associations, whereabouts, and means of transportation is borderline abusive. Moreover, I can see where such behavior or having to live with it could potentially hinder success in the role for which the candidate is applying. On the other hand, the candidate has enjoyed a tremendous professional career, is both intelligent and talented, and would be a great fit. There's nothing substantive that suggests to me that the candidate's spouse has in any way hindered or stifled her career up to this point. Finally, the candidate did not seem to be as bothered by her husband's behavior as I was. So here's a conundrum. I most certainly don't want to be the one to needlessly hoist a red flag and potentially torpedo the candidate's further professional success, but this experience was disturbing. Do I mention this to the senior executive to whom the candidate will report, or am I overthinking and projecting my own personal feelings onto the situation?
Oof. So, my opinion, it's the latter. You're projecting. You're uncomfortable. I get it. Like, if someone came up and they're, like, taking pictures of me, I'd be like, first of all, what the fuck?
Let me see the itinerary.
Like,
let me, like,
yeah,
where the fuck are you taking my wife?
I'd be like, sir, this is not it's not a professional exchange. I understand that. Mm-hmm. However, that's something that also, this is, again, they're a little bit older, right? Mm-hmm. And also understanding that there's crazy shit happening where people are posing as, they're hiring, they're bringing in people. Uh-huh. You don't really know, right? Like, you don't really know if, is this legit? Is this not? Like, there's so much scams and things out there right now, especially like people sending out job offers. They look like legit companies, but they're not. Like there's mm-hmm. so much out there that I can also understand that. But I would pose that question to, I would address that with the candidate and be like, hey, that was a little bit kind of weird. I can maybe understand, but it was a little bit unprofessional. It did make me a little bit uncomfortable.
I mean, well, the candidate caught it because she was like, oh, my husband is so protective, like, but
right.
So she gets that it was uncomfortable and saw that it was unprofessional and weird.
Right.
So I don't know how I would address it, quite honestly. I don't know what I would say. I don't even know if I would say anything, quite honestly.
You don't think you would say anything? I would.
Because, I don't like confrontation.
And I live for that shit.
I'm like, let's just bury this under the rug and see what happens later.
I would have to say something because it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
And I'd be like, I totally understand. However, I think we can address this in a different way. Especially if you're taking pictures of me like that. I'm like, whoa. Like, but did you see what I'm saying? Like that, I'd be like, okay, can we hold on here? Like, first of all,
the candidate, if she saw the spouse doing that, should have fucking said something. Like, that's so fucking weird.
But also, what do you say? You don't want to be like, I know.
Or like call attention to
what you don't want to
exactly.
You don't want to call attention and be like, I'm sorry because this fucking psychopath is taking pictures of you, right? Like, you also don't want to bring it to the attention. But I think at the end of the day, after you get to know her, after you kind of see the fit and everything else, because you don't want to put that right at the beginning. But I would definitely address it towards the end and be like, hey, you know what? While I can understand why maybe, just as a professional, opinion, I would refrain from doing that again because that honestly made it a little bit uncomfortable. Yeah. And that could rub certain people the wrong way. I'm able to move past this, but take that and do with that what you will.
All right. Well, we have 2 updates to this story, guys. So let's jump into a song so I can pull up the first update and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back. Marissa, let's get into the chat before I get into update number 1 on this story.
All right. So it looks like Fluggy says, oh, hell no. Right before, as soon as he said he was taking pictures, he was like, hell no.
That's fucking weird.
It is weird. It is very weird.
Regardless of age, you know what I mean?
It's weird. But that's what I'm saying. But this, like, if you're going to a whole new city, you don't know, like, it's, and then also we don't know if it's like a rinky-dink town that kind of looks kind of shady. You know what I mean? Like, because there's these towns that like, at least I've gone to that I'm like, for work, and I'm like,
oh yeah, no.
It's a little sketch. This place is a little sketch. So I will give them grace for that. Okay. But Katie says, this husband is a red flag.
Absolutely.
Daydreamer says, stay out of grown folks' business.
Wait, does Daydreamer mean the person who's doing the interview stay out of grown folks' business, or he's telling the husband?
The husband.
Okay.
I think it's a husband.
Okay.
Beat Cycler agrees, and he says it's so cringe. Like that, what the husband did is so cringe. Flaggy says, now the problem with these two are not going to stop there. The husband is a huge has controlling vibes, user vibes. They need to fly back home ASAP. He was way too nice. I don't care if I'm at work. I would have grabbed that camera so fast.
Ooh. He gave Flaggy the icks.
He gave him the icks. He said red flags.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Medusa said she would have started voguing and asked, were those good for you or do you need more fucker? I love how she threw in the fucker at the end.
And then you
capitalized.
And then you airdrop some nudes. All right, guys. Okay, so the first update, the person, I guess, because of course you guys know I don't read the comments in these stories. You know that he's pretty much just answering questions that people were throwing out in the comments, right?
Yeah.
So one of them, I guess, people were questioning about the employer, right? Who they work for.
Yeah.
So he says, number 1, my employer is huge and well known. There are no questions about whether this was a shell game or a setup for Jane. Many different echelons were involved before we got to the day in question. At the same time, this position requires a very specific and specialized background and skill set. Candidates as qualified as Jane are extremely rare. That fact alone is why an appropriate way forward was difficult for me.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
This was not an interview per se, more of a site visit. So I guess this was. So I guess this is like in between interview and job offer, right? It's kind of like in the culinary world, they call it staging, where like you go in and you kind of like see the place, check it out. They mainly do that for chefs, right?
Yeah.
In the culinary world, like you'll go stage, you'll check it out, see if you're a fit, whatever, right? So it's kind of in between that.
Yeah.
Yes, there were follow-up questions from all 3 of the virtual interviews she did. So she did 3 virtual interviews. But it was much for that purpose as it was to give her an opportunity to determine if we are as right for her as we feel she is for us. I conducted the first of those interviews a couple of weeks prior to this. Had I not been impressed with Jane and her knowledge and experience, I would not have advanced her in the process for others to interview. I am not the final decision maker on her hiring. I have significant influence on the decision, but ultimately Jane would be a peer of mine. Okay. On that note, although my employer is huge, there aren't many of us in this role, so we tend to be a tight-knit group, even if we are scattered across the country from one another. Meeting up in a hotel lobby, which is funny because we're just singing that song. I wanted to sing hotel lobby right now. Is nothing culturally unusual for us. Also, this was a busy downtown area, and the hotel happened to be literally across the street from the first place we were going. The second place was a block away. It just made sense for me to go across the street so we could grab a coffee and walk and talk. Okay. Number 4, Jane had the itinerary for a few days prior to coming, where she shared it with Bob, and maybe she didn't know, but who knows. Bob's questions were more geared toward wanting to know exactly where each location was and how we'd be getting there.
Okay, that was a little weird.
Okay, right? That's why I was like, okay.
That is a little, like, I could see, like, again, you don't know, because I've been in positions where I've been talking to people, and sometimes companies, like I said, you don't know, there's a lot of scamming going on, there's a lot of crazy shit that's happening, so you're kind of, like, hesitant. You're like, I don't know, is this for real, is this not, you know? Mm-hmm. But if she had the itinerary, and she had it for a few days, that changes.
Yeah.
For me, it changes a whole lot.
Yeah, like, you had the opportunity to share with him what's going on.
Yeah, and the fact that you're sitting there going, like, how are you going to get there? Sir, mind your business. Are you carrying me on your back? No, mind your fucking business.
Okay, so number 5, I'll elaborate a little more on the lobby interaction. The picture taking was over in a matter of a few seconds. Yes, I was taken aback, but I was not paralyzed. I made a conscious decision not to engage him on it because in the end, it had nothing to do with my immediate business with Jane or hers with me. I am certain that my eyes betrayed me when I realized what was happening. We were all wearing masks because my look to her seemed to be what triggered her explanation of his behavior. So I guess his facial expressions.
Yeah.
Or like his,
he had the what the fuck face.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Also, Bob was not aggressive. He was standoffish and weird, but not in a way I felt was overly threatening. Okay. Finally, right after my response about walking and driving, Bob drew a breath to ask another question. I quickly, politely, but very firmly said, "We'll be taking a fleet vehicle, no idea which." And then in the same breath to her, "Ready?" Like he said, "Ready?" Now I have no idea if that was what he was going to ask about, but it was my way of saying, 1, I see what you're doing and I don't like it. 2, your Q&A period is now over and we got to go. And 3, you're not coming, Bob.
You're not invited.
Yeah, you're not invited. I believe the messages were received exactly as intended because he did back off at that point and we left. So far, commenters who were concerned that I didn't shut Bob down, I feel like I did, and it was important for me to do that in a way that didn't make Jane feel uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fact that I was as subtle about it as I was and that he backed off so quickly suggests to me that your observation about this being a performance of suspicion was likely spot on. Mm-hmm. Okay. Finally, a note about Jane. She's been married to Bob for decades. A very, very thorough reference check was conducted. We even spoke to some people she didn't list. No red flags, not from anyone. All of us involved in the vetting and interviewing Jane have come away with the impression that she is a strong and capable leader. The whole process has been much focused on her running a complex operation and being able to lead effectively as it was assessing her technical competencies.
Okay.
Bottom line, Jane is the right fit for the job and will be getting an offer. I'll be taking your advice and will mention to senior executive along with my continued support for Jane's candidacy. So he's gonna let him know this was a little fucking weird, but she's a strong candidate and I think she should be hired.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that was update number 1.
Okay.
Do we go to a song or do you want me to just jump into update number 2? Or do you want to read the comments and I go to 2? You tell me.
I think let's jump into a song.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we'll get update number 2 on Bob, Jill, and what happened with the job.
Okay. All right, guys. We are back. Marissa, do you want to go over the chat before I jump into the second update?
Yeah, it looks like Katie was agreeing with you that this was probably, the meetup was probably a culture fit interview, like an on-site culture fit interview. Like he says, Bob sounds like the exact type of person I don't want to have time for in my life. Enfadoso. And for all of you that don't know what that means, it's just like someone that's just super cringeworthy, like someone that's just requires a lot of attention and you just don't have the time for. Yeah, and that's it.
Okay.
That's what we got.
So let's go into the second update.
Annoying, yeah.
This is not an update I wanted to write, but I hope that by doing so, it might help others who observe or experience this. Jane is no longer being considered for the position.
Oh.
I followed your advice and spoke with a senior executive about my interactions with Jane's husband, Bob, and his hotel lobby photography. She initially reached the same conclusion that you, and most of the commentary did. I offered some other possible reasons for his actions and demeanor that I had read in the comments: early dementia, general safety concerns in an unfamiliar city, etc., and asked her not to let Bob's bizarre behavior be the single disqualifier. Rather, I simply suggested that she keep it in the back of her mind so that if Bob should ever happen to pop up on the radar, she will have heard about him from me first. She agreed and thanked me.
Okay, that's fair, yeah.
Subsequent events have shown you gave me outstanding advice. The blog person, not us guys, because clearly not us, did write into us. This is from the internet.
From the internet.
That I pulled. So anyhow, the short version is that during discussions regarding salary, benefits, relocation, etc., it became clear that it was not Jane negotiating the package. It was Bob by proxy.
Oh.
In fact, I was told that during virtual meetings with HR and the senior executives, Jane was making remarks akin to, "You've offered Z, but my husband feels that we, not I, should have Y and Z. And my husband has told me that X is the minimum that would be acceptable."
Man, what the fuck is wrong with you?
That's fucking crazy to say that. My husband does not find this acceptable.
My husband went on Glassdoor and he said, nah, nah.
As we speak, my husband is pulling up numbers.
As we speak, he's on Glassdoor and that's not what the internet's saying.
That is fucking wild.
What the fuck? Why would you do that? What the fuck is wrong with you?
That is so fucking unacceptable and so wrong.
If I ever had a candidate ever do that to me, I'd be like, fuck you and your husband. Bitch.
I was also informed that I had I not mentioned my experience, Jane's remarks taken by themselves might not have seemed strange.
But that's an indicator.
But probably would have been chalked up as an odd or quirky one-offs.
Mm-hmm.
Those are quirky one-offs when you're negotiating pay and the husband is, or she say, my husband feels I should be getting X amount.
And my husband says this is the most acceptable rate.
According to Bob's calculations, you bitches are trying to underpay me.
Bob said no.
Instead, they concluded that between my observations and Bob's presence in a process that solely should belong to Jane, it was reasonable to conclude that he would ultimately be an unwelcome disruptor and very unlikely a negative impact more than just Jane once she was in the job.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Consequently, Jane was informed that she was just too far afield in her compensatory expectations to warrant further consideration for the position. So they fucking just told her, bitch, you outbid yourself.
Fuck you and Bob's calculations. That's what they told her.
Naturally, this wasn't necessarily the case, but it was the easiest out available.
Yeah.
There's no happy ending here for anyone. Yes, we probably dodged the bullet, but we also had cut a good candidate for an important and still vacant. We had to cut a good candidate from an important and still vacant position. Jane didn't get the job, and what's worse is that she really does appear to be in an abusive, controlling relationship. In spite of lack of prior evidence of it, it's clear now that Bob is in fact interfering with her career. That Jane would negotiate with a number of people and openly communicate her husband's conditions for her employment suggests to me that she's at a point where she feels her situation is completely normal It's just sickening, all of it. I fear you said it best in your response to my initial email. Poor Jane.
I mean,
ooh.
When you spend, especially coming from a place of, I know what it's taken. I know, like, the blood, sweat, and tears that I've had to put out for my career. You know what I mean? So to sit there and just be like, oh, my significant other, Bob, says, fuck you, Bob. Were you the one doing all the work? No, sir. Like, no, we're not doing that. And, I mean, yeah, they dodged a bullet, because if she's, like, first of all, it doesn't sound like this is an entry-level role. It doesn't. This is not an entry-level role. She's been around, like, she has experience. Jane has a lot of experience under her belt. She's clearly, like, a subject matter expert and a leadership role. You don't just fall there one day and you're like, I don't know how this goes, so I don't have the etiquette. She clearly knows what's right and what's wrong. The fact that she would think that's okay is wild to me. It's wild.
I'm completely flabbergasted. I just don't know how you were in the fucking negotiating process.
And throw out your husband's name, your significant other's name, and be like, my significant other says...
Yeah, according to Bob.
According to Bob and whatever the fuck he's reading.
I know, I'm like, first of all, Bob, are you contributing to this bag? Like, are you pulling your weight around the house? Like, why are you so fucking concerned?
That's what I was thinking.
Why are you so concerned with the money I'm bringing in the house? I mean, of course, he has to be concerned, but, like, why are you, like, you should be supporting, not being...
Interfering, not getting in the way. Absolutely. That's crazy.
All right. That is fucking crazy.
And it's crazy because that's going to hinder her, especially because that follows you.
Especially if it's
a very niche industry,
like he said, and it's a tight group of people. Like, I mean, of course, people network, so
shit's gonna get out. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, don't fucking hire her. Her fucking husband is the one that calls the shots, and he's gonna be held up in that bitch.
And then, especially if she's gonna be like, from the site visit, they're going to multiple sites a day and doing different, like...
Imagine?
Like, is he going with her on these site visits? Is he gonna, like...
He's gonna be actively involved.
Is she gonna have to check in at every... Like, how is it... Like, it's really gonna impede on her...
ability to
do... Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy. Wow. So, going into the comments, Fleggy says, just annoying. Medusa said, I bet husband started to call. Which, no, he was just part of the negotiation. She was in the room with the call. Colt. She's saying it's a Colt. Katie says, absolutely not. Medusa says, get a job, loser. Absolutely. If you've got time to sit there and be worried about where am I going, what am I doing, you need to find something to do. You need a hobby. Sal says that's quite some quirk. They're going to chalk it up to it being a quirk. Flaggy says, I'm sorry, is this her husband or her dad?
Yeah,
it's controlling.
But even at that, my dad never negotiated any fucking
Fuck no, I wish.
Pay scale for me.
I wish I'd have known, but also my dad was not.
He probably wouldn't be the best person to try to negotiate.
Absolutely not. That motherfucker would have swung on someone. He was demented. Medusa says, get a job, loser, and say, oh, I'm sorry, Bob, what position did you apply for here? Like, it's crazy.
That really sucks that she totally lost out on this job,
especially because she was qualified for it.
Something that could have bettered their lives.
Absolutely.
Probably, or... Mm-hmm. Because, of course, that's why you look for another job, right? To always step up, to do better. So the fact that, like, this totally hindered that because of Bob, like, I'm just like, it's crazy. This totally reminds me of when we worked at the facility, you and I. So there was a manager. We didn't report to him. We didn't report.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we don't report to him. But we had to deal with him and his team, right?
Correct. Yeah, because we were in the same
office, and but we also, like, I had to, like, my work was towards them, and so was
overlapping. Yeah,
and so was yours.
Yeah.
But he had a very controlling wife.
Oh my god, she would do pop-ups.
Not only would she do pop-ups at the office, he would, because he also had to travel around the city and like check in on his team, and
just be out.
He had to be out in the community.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He had, and that position is very community facing.
Yep, it's very client driven, so you have to be out there.
Absolutely. So he would have to report to her everywhere he was at and who he was with.
Oh, and God forbid he would hear a woman in his vicinity. She'd be like, "Who's that?"
Absolutely.
Insane.
It was so crazy. The pop-ups to me were insane. But then when I would, like, I eventually had to see him in, like, different, or we had to do meetings together in, like, different areas around the city. Yeah. And I would see him, like, talking to his wife, and, you know, he wouldn't keep it hush all the time. It'd be like, oh, I just got to, like, so-and-so place, and I'm with Jane, and she's about to give a presentation.
It was like the whole.
I should be like, yeah, I'm gonna probably be here for an hour. Then after that, I have to go to the other location and check on Bob. Like, he had to fucking report his itinerary to this lady.
Yep.
All fucking day long.
Which was absolutely fucking insane.
So
like, that's exhausting.
Crazy.
The fuck, am I on probation? Why the fuck am I reporting?
Yeah, and then we had a huge Mother's Day event.
Oh my god.
It was like an all-dayer event at a specific, like, community center.
Which was on the other side of the city from where the office was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she showed up.
She pulled up.
She pulled up with their little kid. We're like, oh, we just wanted to come partake, which had nothing, it was not a citywide event. That was open to the public.
Yeah, it was not a public event. It's not like you could just drop by and be like, hi, I'm here for this event. It was for the place that we were hosting it at. It was for that community place that we were at. So it's not like it was open to the public.
Yeah, and then
she pulled up like it was a swap on a fucking Saturday.
Absolutely. After the event, we had to, of course, take down everything. You know what I mean? Like, shut down the place and take everything down. I had to go to the office to drop off some stuff from the event, but I forgot what else I had to do. And he was like, oh, he had a truck, so a lot of the stuff went in his car, right?
Yeah.
And when I was walking out of the office, he was just getting there because he had to go pick her up and the daughter from wherever they lived, and then go to the office to unload.
It was absolutely insane.
It was crazy to me.
It was absolutely insane. The pop-ups were fucking... I would laugh every single time because he really did not know that she was going to roll up. Like, you saw the look of confusion and surprise on his face every single time.
Always.
And she would just walk in like it was her fucking house and go straight to his office.
Well, they thought it was her fucking house, because let me tell you guys, this story, I was like, what the fuck? So, of course, you know, like, in office, like, celebrations, right, that people have for each other. Like, they, like...
For life events,
birthdays, like mini bridal showers, a lot of baby showers and shit, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So we were told that they were having a baby shower for said manager, and Marissa and I fucking hated this guy, and he hated us. It was mutual hate.
It was a mutual hate. Yeah, absolutely.
It was, because, we just fucking despised each other.
Yep. Fuck him in his 90s haircut, still, to this day.
All he needed was the frosted tips. Fuck that guy. So we didn't even... No, luckily, I think both you and I were traveling, as a matter of fact.
I had just landed when I got the text about the invite.
Yeah, and I was traveling. I was in another city. And we both were like, we're not going to fucking be there. Fuck you and that guy, right? Yeah. But from what I understand, guys, I thought it was going to be like just an inter-office baby shower, right?
Yeah, because that's normal, right? Like, you bring in the person, like, it just happened at my new job where this, this employee was having a baby. We kind of came together.
Everybody
bought
pitched
gifts.
in. Yeah.
We bought a little cake, and, congratulations. We hope your wife enjoys the gifts. Take them home. There you go.
But it's just the office.
Right.
No, guys, they fucking had their real baby shower.
That was their baby shower at that office. Like, they invited the mom, the dad,
the aunts,
cousins,
the tias, the primos, fucking everybody was up in that bitch.
Fucking crazy.
I mean, granted, it was like a big office, and the front was like a welcome center, kind of.
It had a lot of space. So you had a lot of space, but it looked like an abandoned restaurant because it was a lot of tables with chairs.
Uh-huh.
So it looked like an empty restaurant, like at all times. But it wasn't a restaurant. So
Yeah.
you did have a lot of real estate where you could, maneuver. But
it was for like hosting meetings and shit like that.
exactly.
Not
for the company, not for your own personal fucking
baby shower.
baby shower and celebrations.
They fucking did a huge potluck. They had fucking the works, guys. The fucking Schaefer dishes, like they brought in they brought in the catering and everything, guys. It was fucking wild. When I heard this, I was like, what?
I was laughing. I was like, that's gotta be horrible.
How do you make this your fucking baby shower?
How do you make this your venue for your baby shower?
In the middle of a fucking Thursday or Friday, whatever fucking day it was happening.
I think it was like a Thursday. Yeah.
In the middle of a Thursday, whatever. But it was just so fucking weird, guys. But anyhow, this story just reminded me of that because his fucking crazy ass wife, him having to report. So she was essentially the Bob in that story.
Yeah, she was. So
crazy
things. But our hour is up.
It is. That fucking story took up the whole hour.
It did.
And I had some good Am I the Assholes, but we'll save them for next week.
It's okay. We're always here for some asshole stories.
Yes. That being said, let's do some quick housekeeping.
Yes.
Okay, so our schedules got kind of crazy for June.
Yes.
So we're going to have Jen Glenn join us for Songs We Hate, which will either be next Tuesday
or the last Tuesday of the month.
Or the last Tuesday of the month. Whichever one works for her.
Yes.
But she'll be doing Songs We Hate. This Sunday, I am doing Amo to Emo with Adam at noon Central Time. Fluggy is going to be our special co-host. So I hope you guys can tune into that. If you have not tuned in and like to fuck with your mental health, tune in, guys. That's what it does. We play one song that totally gets you pumped up and ready to take on the world, and then another song that makes you want to cry in your bedroom.
Fetal position.
Yep.
Yep.
You get all up in your fifis. And then we go right back up to another fun song, right?
And then you air punch her a little bit, and then you get back into fetal position. It could be a workout. It could be a workout.
Just a roller coaster of emotions that we'd like to take you on. So that will be Tuesday. This Sunday. So that's it, guys.
Yeah. So again, thank you all so much for hopping on the Hot Mess Express. We appreciate you. Appreciate your time. If you want to get a hold of us because you want to participate in Songs We Hate, or you want to co-host with us and our dating correspondent, Helen Butts, on The Morning After, please DM us. All of our information, links, and everything is in our bio.
Our dating correspondent. I'm sorry, I fucking love that. And our bio being on Instagram.
Yes.
Because I keep seeing our bio, like we have a bio here. Like we did an AMP.
But not here.
But not here. I keep forgetting that. So our Instagram bio.
Yeah, so our Instagram bio and our handle so that you can find us is
IHIHWHS.
So again, just go in there, DM us, click the link in our bio, figure out a way to get a hold of us. Our email, everything's on there. So yeah, that's it. That's all we got.
That's it, guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Like I said, I will be doing fucking nothing. I will be rotting away this weekend.
Look at you go.
Probably poolside if the rain's not so bad.
I have to go fight for my life at Costco because I have to get summer for the boys. Oof. So
all right, not me, guys. I will be riding away poolside if the weather permits.
I will be crying with a Costco pizza slice.
All right,
that's my little reward.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We again appreciate you, and we will see you at your shows.
Absolutely. Thanks all.